If you consistently find yourself falling off the wagon time and time again with your healthful resolve because of social events, then this video is for you. We don't have to make a decision between our friends and our social life and our healthy diet or any other healthful habits that you want to put into place. We can definitely have both. And in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that. So this is part 3 of a 3-video series. If you missed the first 2 videos, they focused on this amazing book called Change Anything. And it's about these 5 researchers and their life's work of studying over 5,000 people to determine the most successful means and strategies to get from point A to point B when it comes to behavior change or anything that we're trying to succeed in our life, whether it's relationships, addictions, business, and of course, personal health. This is a phenomenal book and I highly recommend it. So in the first video of this series, we discussed how to distinguish between who is a friend and who is an accomplice, and how to redefine our normal. Those are the first 2 tactics. The third tactic I covered in the last video, the second video in this series, which is how to hold a transformation conversation with individuals that may be impeding your success. And then finally, in this video, we are going to discuss the final 2 tactics, and those tactics are number 1, add new friends, and number 2 is going to be distancing yourself from the unwilling. And yes, it is as complicated as it sounds. And then I will provide a summary to bring this all together, and hopefully you guys have already seen the first video and the second video, and this will just bring everything to light and help you get to work on your personal success story. Tactic number 4, adding new friends. This is by far the easiest way to exploit social influence. So these are individuals who share the same goal. They are also interested in offering you support. So imagine looking at new support groups online or finding meetups in your local area and start making friends that enjoy the same things that you are trying to build into your life. So whether that's more exercise or time outdoors or just time spent around people who enjoy living a healthy life, then that's what you need to start pursuing. This will help you to establish a new normal, a new reference point, like we discussed in the first video in the series, the second tactic, and the overall social influence strategies. So this is so important because if we constantly compare ourselves to others and feel like we are on par, we must be doing okay because everybody else is doing the same thing we're doing, that's not okay. We don't want to be like everybody else around us who is sick and miserable and unhealthy and have no energy and are on 3 medications and are going to the doctor all the time. We want to be that vibrant, healthy person that bounces out of bed in the morning and is fixing our salad for lunch and is playing with our kids on the floor and having all sorts of vibrant health that we can enjoy our life to the fullest utilizing. So join different associations and social networks that are filled with people who are trying to conquer the same things and reach the same goals as you are. This is so easy to do in this day and age because we have every social output at our fingertips when it comes to social media and Zoom and just any way that you can meet up with people nearby in your community is a great way to keep you on track and add new friends. So the 5th and final tactic is rather difficult for a lot of people. This one is distancing yourself from people who are unwilling. So those who are unwilling to support you in your endeavor to incorporate more healthy habits into your life. Regardless of our efforts, some people will just continue to remain social barriers to our success. And that's common. And I don't want to say it's okay, but it's just something that we have to accept and come to terms with. So the sooner you can become aware of these people, the sooner you can start preparing yourself for these difficult conversations. And if you didn't see the last video with the transformation conversation, make sure you watch that before approaching these individuals, because it's important to know, to have some sort of dialogue ready to go in your mind before you approach this complicated scenario. More times than not, following this transformation conversation, people will start to support you more and they will start to move in a positive direction. And continue to be a part of your life. But sometimes that's not always the case, and we have to prepare ourselves for that and, again, accept it if that is the direction it organically goes. But just know that this is a very natural process. So as you continue to follow a health trajectory and to maintain certain, physical activity and getting enough sleep and prioritizing these important things in your life, these pillars of health, the more and more and more you'll just naturally shift away from hanging out with these individuals because you no longer have a lot in common and you no longer share the same values. So they may continue partying a lot or using alcohol in the evenings, or they may be your old binge buddies. A lot of people I used to hang out with that I don't anymore, we would get together and play games and go to bars and have parties, and it would just be a binge fest. It would just be one table full of chips and crackers and dips and all kinds of things that are going to make me feel like junk in the morning. And I'm not going to get up early. I'm not going to have my workout in the early morning like I usually do. And I'm going to feel like crap all day. And I'm just going to resent all that time that I spent engaging in that behavior with those people. So eventually I learned how to have these conversations with them, and it did not go in a positive direction. They continued to encourage poor behaviors, and that's just simply what they did. When your foundation of your relationship is structured around binge eating on junk food and drinking and gossiping, that's what they're always going to anticipate doing with you. So when you start not enjoying those things so much and acting upon that lack of satisfaction, then it's going to only be a matter of time before you start shifting in one direction and they start shifting in another. So this is a really complicated value trade-off between maintaining the unsupportive relationship and clearing the best path to achieve your goals. Ultimately, you have to decide whether to maintain these relationships, but don't underestimate the power that coaches, fans, and accomplices play in your life. So overall, the overarching theme of all of this wonderful data and information is to tip the scales of social influence in your favor by enlisting the support of friends, coaches, and fans while reducing or eliminating the discouragement from accomplices. That's it in a nutshell. All the details are in these video series if you want to learn more. So before wrapping up, I wanted to provide some supporting evidence from the Change Anything Labs. They studied 34,000 people in different areas such as fitness, addiction, and weight loss across the board. All different things that people are interested in changing: relationships, business, jobs. So they asked these people to describe the changes they made in each of these areas. And the data showed that accomplices tended to drag people back into old habits. Now, this is not surprising. We all anticipated that. But what was really interesting is that people with 6 or more friends playing the role of coaches and fans were 40% more likely to succeed in their endeavor than those with 3 or fewer friends. The more you can build these social networks of positive people who are going to lift you up and encourage your healthful habits, the exponentially more likely it is that you will succeed. That is crazy. This does not rely on willpower. This does not rely on some internal force. This relies solely on the external, on the social influences that are all around us that we don't even perceive most of the time. I'm not saying that's the only cause. I'm saying that's a big cause. 40% higher likelihood of success, that is a big deal. So turn your current network of accomplices and friends who are organized around your old habits into a team of highly functioning friends. Have these people work for you instead of against you, and provide the same service in return. This should be of mutual benefit. Also, offer them the same exact encouragement and service that they are providing you. So when you see clearly the difference between a friend and an accomplice and take action to transform these accomplices into friends, you're no longer blind and outnumbered. So get the crowd behind you and you can change anything, including your habits around your plant-based diet. I hope these videos were helpful. I so encourage you to read this book. It was very eye-opening, and I continue to use a number of these tactics in my practice, even prior to reading this book, simply because I have stumbled and stumbled and stumbled along the way so many times in my personal journey, but also I've watched so many hundreds of other people in my practice follow the same path and stumble and get up and stumble and get up until they finally find that resolve where they can establish these healthy patterns in behavior. So make sure you leave any and all comments that has to do with this content, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.